A week before Istanbul peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, Ukraine decides to go and turn a third of Russia's missile-capable strategic bomber fleet into static displays with some hardware from Radio Shack and some U-Haul trucks. To be fair, though, Ukraine kind of did Russia a favor because Russia should have retired the Tu-95 Bear like decades ago. It's not even a Russian aircraft, it's Soviet. It first flew in 1952. Turboprops in 2025? What are you doing, child? Now, to be fair, our long-range heavy strategic bomber, the B-52, also first flew in 1952. But seriously, look at the difference between the Buff and the Bear. One looks like a modern aircraft and has been upgraded to be a modern aircraft, and the other looks like it might get shot down by the Red Baron. And Russia's planning to operate this thing at least into the 2040s, which means by the time they retire, it'll have been in service longer than Mitch McConnell. Which, once again, we can't say much because we're still rocking the Buff, but if you're gonna do an imperialism, your flagship bomber probably shouldn't be rocking propellers. Granted, they're aircraft carriers powered by tugboats, so not exactly the modern military they pretend to be. Anyway, getting off topic, the point is that this was a highly complex attack and a devastating blow by Ukraine that was a year and a half in the making. This involved smuggling 117 drones on trucks into Russia and strategically parking them around the airfield, and then timing it perfectly, waiting for the right moment to launch so they could do maximum damage, and maximum damage they did. They destroyed 41 aircraft, doing an estimated $7 billion in damage. And this will likely be one of those military attacks that goes down in the history books as one of the most important military attacks in history. Well, it probably won't go in, our history books because they'll be banned by then, but the rest of the world's history books, this will probably go down in those. And not only is this just a huge win for Ukraine, but this is a huge win for NATO's air defense, and Ukraine isn't even a part of NATO. After all, NATO's air defense now has 34% fewer Russian missile carriers to worry about. And it turns out Ukraine informed other European governments about the attack well ahead of time, but didn't tell the Trump administration, which kind of makes sense, because why would you tell Russia that you're going to attack them? But since this was a year and a half in the making, this means that while Zelensky was sitting in the Oval Office getting insulted for not saying thank you enough and not wearing a suit and being told that he didn't have any cards, he was probably halfway through chewing his own tongue off to keep from telling the Dorito-dusted taco that wars aren't fought with cards, and he'd probably know that if he didn't have that unfortunate bone spur flare-up. But Zelensky's getting the last laugh on this one after handing him the skip card and then following it up with the Verse Uno card because he skipped telling Trump about the whole attack and then reversed it back around on him by showing him that Ukraine and Europe is perfectly capable of delivering painful punches to Putin without the US's participation at all. However, while this is a devastating blow for Russia and a huge win for Ukraine, which is absolutely awesome, this is not great for us, guys. Just speaking pragmatically as an American, this is showing the rest of the world that they don't really need us for the thing that they've relied on us for 60 or 70 years. And that's bad for us, the American citizens, because while every day the rest of the world needs us less and less, we need them more and more, thanks to the fact that we are being run by a sentient circus peanut. That said, I am super ecstatic for Ukraine, and while some people are worrying that this was bad timing because they think it'll negatively affect the upcoming peace talks in a week, I disagree, because first off, Putin never really seemed to give a shit about peace in the first place. Secondly, because I think you're probably more likely to consider peace when your options to not be peaceful have been dramatically reduced by 34-ish% or so. Granted, Putin is also a narcissistic, unhinged lunatic, and he could just as well resort to the nuclear option, literally. But I personally think the peace talks will be improved by the somehow both way too late and yet early and unplanned retirement of his Tu-95s. But in the meantime, I'm incredibly happy for Ukraine. I know this has been a huge morale booster that they desperately needed, and I hope that there is a lot more to come.